Welcome back to the Full Force Fathers podcast, episode 66, Dave. Anyways, I'm laughing into the intro because Dave literally just asked me if I needed a hug. He said, I'm all sorts of wired up today. Do I need a hug? No, I don't need a hug. Yes,
I think you did.
I am wired up today as usual. Per usual, I'm always fired up. But just, this morning was nice. Met a buddy of mine over at Catalina State Park and hammered out a 10K on the trails. And that's the shit that fires me up, man. Like when I'm out there just breathing in that fresh air, just, sun's not even over the mountains yet. Like, you know me, that is my happy place. And last night we were at track practice last night with the girls. And Matt said, he goes, "Hey, you want to run in the morning?" I said, "Well, I'll be running." He's like, "What are you doing? Like your usual 8?" And I'm like, "Yeah, probably. I don't know. However the wind blows." He goes, "You want to go hit some trails?" And I said, "Yeah. What time you want to meet?" And he's like, "I don't know. Before the sun comes up." I said, "Sounds good to me, man." So he texted me like 5:30. He goes, "I'm already ready." I'm like, "So am I." I was outside playing with Pepper, and he was playing with their dog because they got a puppy now. Who's, by the way, side note, they got a dog. It's like a German Shepherd, Bernese Mountain Dog mix. Dude, that dog is like 8 months old. And it's already like fucking 80 pounds. It is huge. Wow. It's 30 pounds heavier than Pepper. And Pepper's, September Pepper will be 2. Which is another side note, how crazy, how fast time goes by, that Pepper's going to be literally 2 at the end of the summer. So, But no, so that's why I'm so fired up, man. I just love getting out there and crushing trails. And, listen, September 30th, 50 miles is going to be here before you know it. So it's good for me to start incorporating some miles out there in the desert because, listen, you can run as many miles as you want on the asphalt. It does not compare to running in the desert, up and down hills, over rocks, uneven ground. So getting out there, and we could have went all day. Like we both were, dude, mile 6, we were like 7:17 pace, just cruising through the desert. We're like, better put a cap on this sucker and go home. And, but I told him, I said, because now that, I'm not technically in any kind of training plan for that 50 miler. But I told him, the best thing for me now is, because I run 7 days a week, if 2 of those days are out in the desert and then 2 of those days I'm on the hill, with my weight vest on, mimicking, because everything right now is geared towards mimicking 50 miles in the mountains. So when I have my weight vest on and I'm going, just rucking up and down the hill, run up, walk down, run up, walk down, when we're out in the desert like today, power hiking and trudging through the uphills. And then just, the flat to downhill, just kind of cruising along. That's the stuff that mimics the miles that are going to be, there's going to be 50 of them. So, and the most important thing is time on your feet. It's not so much about going and running a 10 miler. It's more about like, all right, go out there and move for 2 hours kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So.
Nice. Sounds like your kind of day.
Dude, you want to talk about, you want to kickstart a day better than that, dude? There's not much better than that. So, but, yeah, so that's where I'm at, just cruising along. Miles are racking up and just felt so nice to be out there. I will say that there's only one downside to trail running versus road running, which I love both. I mean, I think I like I think I like trail running slightly better, being out in nature. But the only downside to trail running, especially if you're running on gnarly trails like this morning, rocks, freaking cactus, up and over bullet, like you don't get to enjoy the run all that much. You know what I mean? You never get to pick your eyes up and see what's around you, right? Like especially in Catalina State Park, you're surrounded by massive mountains. You don't get to enjoy that. You don't get that feel of like, if I'm running down the road, down the path, and I'm looking at the counties, I don't got to worry about where my feet are because I know it's just flat and it's asphalt and I'm not going to trip or, you know what I mean? But when you're out in the desert or any woods for that matter, you have to constantly watch where your feet are going because if not, you're going to eat shit. And nobody wants to eat shit, so,
no,
that's the thing so like 2.5 miles in, when we hit one of the cattle guards getting onto the Arizona 50-year trail this morning, we just stopped. We both shut our watches, paused them, and just sat there for a minute. And we're like, dude, just soak this shit up. The sun's just starting to crest. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's why every day on my Instagram page, if you follow me on Instagram, dude, every single day, all I write is go outside every day because there's nothing better than being out in nature. I don't care if you're walking around your freaking block. You don't have to be running trails. Just go outside. There's something magical about the mornings when the sun is coming up, when the sun is, you let your eyeballs and your skin soak in that morning air and that morning sun. And then get inside after that because it gets so fucking hot here now. It's unbelievable. I didn't even tell you the weather. I didn't even tell you the forecast for Tucson for the foreseeable future. You know what I mean? We are in the midst of a 11-day stretch where if you look at the extended forecast, it's either 103 to 108 every single day.
Wow. So, yeah, it's pretty hot. I don't necessarily miss that part of the summer. It's pretty damn hot.
I would take 108 over 90 with 90% humidity any day of the week.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure. There's no doubt about that.
We know how you sweat, dude. I can only imagine in that humidity.
Yeah, it's gonna be a bad scene. It's gonna be a real ugly scene for a while. Probably like a 2-month stretch where it's just gonna be pure misery, but that's okay. It's like I say to you all the time. It's better than cold, so it is what it is. I can find air conditioning. We have a pool we can get to, so it's all good. It'll work itself out. But
good.
Have to go like this to get to work. Swim through it.
It's so thick. You cut that shit with a knife, right? Like, you get to see it. You get to see everything. You wake up in the morning, everything's wet, and you're like, "Why is everything wet?"
It's so hard to like get your towel to dry. Your shower towel, 24 hours, it's still not dry. It's so dumb.
Dude, you gotta have a dehumidifier on all the time. And in your house, it's not the easiest because you have a lot of high ceilings in your house. It's kind of like Arizona with the high ceilings, except it's dry here. You have the humidity, man. It's hard to suck that moisture down off those big ceilings.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, although I do love the high ceilings. I told Casey the other day, I don't think I could ever live in a house again with low ceilings like we had in our house in Connecticut. Just like a standard 8-foot ceiling. I could never do that again.
Yeah,
like claustrophobic. It's so nice. It's wide open. It's great.
I miss it, dude, being in this house versus Elixir, because Elixir had the nice high ceilings. Here, it's the old Casa Adobe, so they are 8-foot ceilings, and it's tough. It's tough. Besides the addition on the house where that room has like a 10-foot ceiling, dude, it's not the easiest. Especially me being 6'5", dude, the walls feel like this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but anyways, there's your opening rant for episode 66. Today's episode, short and sweet, dude. It is summer vacation. We're gonna hammer out some overall summer vacation talk. Nothing really pressing today on today's episode, so we're just gonna enjoy it. Today's gonna be a fun one. We're just gonna talk about shit and summer and vacations and all that stuff, and we want to hear from you guys what you're doing. But I'll let you jump in with the famous number 66.
Yeah, there's some good players on the list, some good ones, but it's not an exceptional list. So we got 2 from the NFL that stood out to me. Ray Nitschke, linebacker for the Green Bay Packers back in the day. I think he had 25 interceptions, 23 fumble recoveries in his career. So that's pretty solid.
He's a Hall of Famer.
Bart Starr called him Jekyll and Hyde because he was super nice off the field, and he'd get on there and he just liked to hit people. It was like, that was like old school football right there. Just get in your face, punch in the mouth, and go. So that was pretty good. I also put Larry Little on the list, offensive lineman for the perfect season 1972 Miami Dolphins. He was a mainstay around that offensive line. He was drafted by the Chargers, got traded to the Dolphins, and became one of the best offensive linemen they had for a long time. So he was on the list. Baseball, a couple guys. Yasiel Puig, remember him? Mm-hmm. Is he still playing? I don't even know if he's still playing. Yasiel Puig.
He had that with the Dodgers. He had a run there where he was really, really famous.
Yeah, he did, but it was short. It was short-lived.
Yeah.
Just remember, he was on the Dodger team that the Red Sox beat in the World Series. I do remember that. And Juan Guzman, just because I love his name, he's on there. Juan Guzman.
He was a great player for the Rangers, right? Was it the Rangers?
Yeah, I think it was the Rangers. Yeah, I think it was.
Yasiel Puig. It says
while you're looking up Yasiel, it says he's current still. Oh, interesting.
I'm listening. I'm looking right now.
And then how about from the NHL, the great Mario Lemieux?
Dude, he's not just great, dude. He's a top 10 hockey player of all time.
All-timer. Yep.
Dude,
I mean,
for sure.
What do you think? I mean, obviously it's Gretzky, and then number 2.
He was the second. Well, he was the second best player in that generation. It was Gretzky, then him.
Yes. No
You
doubt
know what I mean?
about it. Do you
No,
think
I
he's
mean,
second best ever? I don't know enough about hockey, so
no, I wouldn't put him second best ever, but I think he's a top 10 player ever. Remember, don't
top
forget
10. Okay.
he had to compete. He had to compete with fucking Yammer Yager on the same roster. Remember, Yammer Yager came in a couple years
It's
later in
true.
his career. Dude, Yammer Yager came and stole the spotlight. But I don't know if I'd put him
Yeah.
again if I put him all time over like some of those unbelievable players like an Ovechkin or you know what I mean some of the all time greats from back in the day, the
Yeah.
Hulls and all that other stuff. But he's up there. I would definitely cement him as a top 10 player. I
Oh,
mean he's
over
the only other player.
1,700 career points.
Yeah, he's only one of those players. He's
Pretty
like one
good.
of the only few players that was even not no because no one was on Gretzky's level. But he was the only one that could somewhat
No.
compete with Gretzky in terms of like going for point records and all that other shit.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So that was a good one.
Yeah. Well,
hockey. I think hockey keeps the list going here.
oh, dude, Trent Alexander-Arnold, dude, you put a soccer player in there, dude. That he's
I put it in there just for you.
Dude, you don't understand. He is like let's just give me I'm trying to compare someone as good as him in like an American sport because he's young. He would be the equivalent of like he's not like Kobe Bryant, Steph Curry status, but he'd be like Klay Thompson. Like he's that good.
Huh, okay.
Yeah, I mean he's literally one of the best wingbacks in all of world football. He was a starter on a Champions League team for Liverpool when they beat my Spurs in the Champions League 3 years ago. He was 19 years old. That just tells you how good he is.
Yeah.
And he plays for the England national team, which is, you could argue, a top 2 or 3 team in FIFA World Soccer. You know what I mean? So the dude is he's an unbelievable player. This past year was actually what they would quote unquote consider a down year, but Liverpool had a terrible year this year anyways. But no, Trent Alexander-Arnold, TAA for short, he's an unbelievable footballer. So this list is not great. It's definitely not great, but you do have some powerhouses. Like, dude, when you say the name Ray Nitschke, like that's historic football. When you say Mario Lemieux, you know what you're dealing with. Everybody who watches baseball knows who Yasiel Puig was. You know, the racing, you put the couple racing guys in there. I don't follow any racing at all.
I put it in there specifically because of the name for him, Lake Speed.
Yeah, it's a great name.
Stock car driver. I mean, what a name for the sport that you're in. Lake Speed.
Yeah.
Too bad he wasn't better. He only had one career win in 402 races, so not an all-timer, but that name, I mean, that's phenomenal.
The only name like that better that's in racing that's better than like Speed would be like if your last name was like Winner or Checkered, like Joey Checkers or something like that, because the checkered flag.
Joey
You know what I mean?
Checkers. That would be pretty good.
Something along those lines would be great. You know what I mean? So, but anyways, yeah, dude. Listen, interesting list to say the least. Interesting list for number 66. But jumping into the Bible verse here. This one, I don't have any real story behind this one other than I read it, last week, and I just enjoy this. And I think something can be taken from it. Like it says, so it's Proverbs 15, verse 33. 15:33 in Proverbs. Wisdom's instruction is to fear the Lord, and humility comes before honor. Listen, we all need a little humility. You know what I'm saying? Pride and ego is a motherfuck. You got to have some humility in this world. Especially before honor. You definitely need to be, humble and have some humility. And as always, the beginning line of that proverb is wisdom's instruction is to fear the Lord. Like I said, it's just a good, straightforward proverb verse that I like. You know what I mean? And couple big words in there. Fear and humility, honor, and things like that. So just like I said, nothing to dive deep in with it, other than just read it and kind of interpret it how you feel. So, anyways, moving on. Summer episode. First thing I want to talk about summer, before we get into who you're going where, we're going here, any of that shit. Something came up the other day, and I was thinking about it. So, we had the girls homeschooled for the last 18 months. So summer, the last day of school kind of thing, didn't really, they don't get the same vibe as kids that go to school. But tell me if I'm wrong here. And I don't know, I want your perspective because your kids just got out of school a few weeks ago. Because school is essentially out everywhere in the country. I think today, as this episode releases, like my nephew's in Connecticut, because fucking who the fuck? Why did we ever go to school till the late June when we grew up? It's mind boggling to me because we both have been so out of that Connecticut school schedule for so long by moving to Arizona. And my kids have never known the Connecticut school schedule. They've only ever known Arizona school schedule. And
Mm-hmm.
I just still can't believe that you go to school from September to late June versus the way we've been doing it now since 2015, which is, beginning of August to like the second week of May. It is just,
Yeah.
it's like the college schedule. It's just so much better.
It's so
Like,
much better. I think the main reason is because most of the schools in New England don't have air conditioning in them, and to put it in
yeah,
is ridiculously expensive. So they can't go. It's hard for them to go back in early August because it's still like prime summer. You know.
prime. Yeah, yeah. And I mean, I remember growing up, like August was always a cool month, but you also got the dog days, like August, and you're like, oh, damn, school's starting again soon. We're here. Did you get
Yeah.
half of May, all of June, all of July? I don't know. It's just different to me doing it this way. But better. I like the way it's there. But anyways, but
Oh,
this
it's
whole
so
point,
much better.
but the whole point is, I'm gonna ask you this question: do your kids this year or years prior, did they get like amped up for the last day of school or the last week of school? Because like I remember you and I, our age, dude, the last week of school was like fucking Christmas, dude. We would
Yeah.
we were so juiced up because we knew we were doing nothing and we couldn't wait to get out. Like I don't feel like kids these days, like school gets out, they're like, oh, school.
Yeah, they don't. I mean, they're excited. They're definitely excited, but she loves school. She loves going to school. So I don't think summer break for her is like her favorite thing. Bryce certainly doesn't, he'd rather be home doing something. So I think he's more excited. But dude, you said it. I remember the last day of school, like getting on the bus on the ride home, that entire ride, you had this feeling of like, I've got an eternity ahead of me
Yeah.
that I have nothing to do, no responsibilities,
Yeah.
no homework, books,
Yeah.
teachers, nothing. You just got to have fun. And it seemed like it was for a year. And
Yeah.
really, it was only like 6 or 8 weeks, but
Yeah.
it felt like an eternity. And it was the greatest feeling. I remember being so excited and going over friends' houses and like just doing stuff. It was awesome.
I just feel like maybe it's just the societal, like the society we live in now. Like we don't, like kids now have phones, right? They're always connected to friends, to whatever. We didn't have that. Like we took the
Mm-hmm.
fucking yellow school bus to school, dude. We had dial-up phones in our houses. We didn't have cell phones when we were kids. So like we actually had textbooks. We didn't have laptops and iPads. So like school was like traditional school where like it was like fucking celebrated the last day of school. Where now it's like, huh, I'll just text you later. Like, fuck that shit. Like that's the way I look at it.
Yeah. Yeah, like you wouldn't see kids for the entire summer. Like you wouldn't
You wouldn't
see
see
them
kids
until
for
you get back to school. And
yeah,
like kids would be very like some kids would grow 6 inches, like you'd be like a
yeah,
totally different person.
yeah.
But yeah, you're right. But it's part of like society now too, is like nothing there's no delineation between when things start and when things stop.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're always just kind of in flight on things. Like work, always working.
Yeah,
It's like even when you're home, most people are working, and it's like
yeah,
there's no like hard line. So like even in school, like the kids got to keep their Chromebooks for the summer. Why did they
yeah,
keep their Chromebooks for the summer? That doesn't make any sense.
yeah,
Like they should have to turn their Chromebook in and then get a new Chromebook at the start of the school year. Like
yeah.
I don't know. It it is different. It's different now, and yeah, I mean, so many things are different now in society, which sucks. But I go back to that memory. It's one of my favorite memories of being a kid. It just last day of school, so much excitement for the entire summer. And I don't know. It's
Yeah, dude. I
changed.
remember last day of school because like I don't think I ever drove to school in high school on the bus. No, I did. For freshman year, I still took the bus. But like I remember eighth grade. We graduated eighth grade. We were going to high school, and I'll never forget, dude. One stupid story. Our bus driver was driving through the neighborhood. And we thought we were fucking tough. It was me and my brother, a couple of really close friends in middle school. And when the bus stopped, and the stop sign came out, and she opened up the door of the bus driver, we had the coolest bus driver ever too. She lets us do whatever. Her name was Celeste. I'll never forget. All of us opened up the emergency back door and jumped out the back door, and that's how we got off the bus. And we just literally thought we were the coolest kids ever. We just flipped the peace side to Celeste and said, "Have a good summer." And she had to put the bus in park, walk to the back, close the door. You know what I mean? I just thought it was, one of those dumb things. that you do. But back then, like that was cool, man. Like I don't
Yeah.
know, and then but like the other thing too, like I don't know about you, but this is like the second part of this conversation. Like my kids, like they're like we had dog days of summer, right? Everybody does. Like right now, we're in the meat
Yeah.
of the dog days of summer. It's June in Arizona. It's 108 every day. But my kids, like, dude, we didn't care about how hot it was, or we just went and did shit when we were kids. We rode our bikes, went to the Y, went to the baseball field, went to the playground,
Hmm.
went to friends' houses. Like, my kids, I swear, sometimes they're just like lost. They're like, dude, it's another day. It's summer. Like, okay, we'll go swimming or we'll go do. And I just feel like my kids, like, it's this generation of kids. Like, what are you doing today? Oh, nothing. Just sat on my laptop. Oh, I sat on my phone. We never did any of that shit
Hmm.
as kids. The dog days of summer were the
Yeah.
dog days of summer. We were out from sun up to sundown, always doing shit. And, I tell them, like for us, Madison, the girls are doing track 3-4 nights a week. Madison just did a volleyball camp last week, 4 days, which was cool. And then, like I told them, I said, enjoy this. Like go swimming twice a day. Let's do things. Ride your bike for in the morning. Because once we go to Colorado, which we'll get to later in the show, like when we get home, dude, it's fucking 2 weeks and they're back in school again. Like you
Yeah.
need to
Oh,
soak this shit
dude.
up because time is going by so fast.
Yeah. Yeah. You're 100% right. And I mean, I noticed the same things. Like Casey's been doing a good job of getting the kids in camps for the
Yeah.
first few weeks. So the first week of summer, my dad was here. A couple weeks ago, they went to VBS camp at one of the Christian churches here.
Mm-hmm.
Last week, they were in Catholic camp from our church. So they've been staying active in camps. They're done with camps now because we're about to start vacation mode. But like getting them to like just go and do things. Now I do think too they're a little young. Like I'm not going to send Bryce like, hey, go find a friend on your bike,
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is, but like we were on a family walk the other night. Casey and I were walking. Kids were riding their bikes. And we were kind of going down. And one thing I do think is cool here that I didn't get the same feeling in Arizona was like there's a lot of kids out here. Like
Mm-hmm.
kids are out riding their bikes. They're like down in like the community trail area, and there's like some like jumps and stuff in the woods for the bikes, and like there's a
Yeah.
bunch of kids there. And like Bryce goes down, and like one of his friends from school is like, "Hey Bryce, come on over here," and like he'd go over and kind of like hang him for a few minutes. I was like, this definitely has like more of a community feel to it. So I hope like as they get a little older and can like start trusting them to like go a little bit further and a little bit further away from home by themselves, like that kind of stuff will come together. Kendall's got a couple friends in the neighborhood that she's gotten together with and hung out with. So like I kind of see it starting. So it might just be the age, but I mean, I'm with you. Like they've got to find things like do enjoy it because, like you said, I mean, we're coming in. You know, July is a week away,
Mm-hmm.
and we go into July. And the kids got vacations for 3 of the 4 weeks of July. Basically, they
Mm-hmm.
come back. It's 1 week. School's in.
Yeah, dude. I'm
It's
with you.
it's over.
Yeah.
So
Like with your neighborhood too, and I can attest to this because I've been there. Remember that day we ran and it was miserable? How cold it was. It was like in the 20s. But
brutal.
remember those fucking kids. They were out there, dude. Like your neighborhood has that. Remember those kids were playing football?
Mhm.
Like they looked like they were high school age
Yep.
kids, 15, 16, and they were in the park right
Yeah.
there in the neighborhood, hucking the football around. I'm like, that's so cool to see. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. And
Granted,
I hope that continues and the kids
yeah,
get into that with their friends because that is something that we didn't have in Torrington.
yeah.
There wasn't a lot of young kids in our little community. And
Even in
there really
Rancho, you didn't
wasn't a
have
lot
that.
of young no, there was a couple of young kids around and when you guys left, I mean Kendall
Yeah.
had some friends up the street a little bit, but Bryce's main friends were further away. So it's different. So we're hoping that would be a really cool thing for them to experience here.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy. I just can't. Like I said, we say it every year. We say it all the time. We just can't believe how fast shit's going by. But it's it's insane. But anyways, so we'll start with you. What are the plans for the next month? Like, what's your summer look like? In terms of
Yeah.
vacations, you going places, you staying? What do you do? What are you guys doing?
Yeah, Kendall's birthday is about a week away. She's going to be 10. And then right after her birthday, Casey and the kids are going up to Maine for 10 days. They're going to stay at a family friend's house up there on the beach, which is going to be great. I don't have that much time off this year because we've got another family vacation plan. So I'm staying back with the dog. So it's going to be me and the dog for 4th of July, which Be interesting to be bearing out, share some burgers and hot dogs or something. Who knows?
Yeah.
And then they come back, and then we spin around a few days later, and we are off to North Carolina to the beach there for a week, which is going to be a lot of fun. We come back. It's Bryce's birthday, and then school starts. And Casey and I are doing a trip end of August, just together, celebrate our 40th birthdays together. We're going to
Where are
go
you going?
back down to Pensacola, I think.
Oh,
That's the
really?
plan. Yeah, as
Oh,
long
that'd
as there's
be
not a hurricane that comes rolling through, that's going to
make
be
sure,
what we do. Yeah,
make sure there's not 50-degree weather either. You're going back down to the old redneck Riviera.
that's right. I want to go back and experience it with warmer weather.
Get down there and find a few more sand dollars.
That's right. Hey, and it'll be just her and I, so we'll be able to just kind of enjoy the time and
Who's
get
gonna
up
watch
and do the
your,
things we
your
want to do.
your dad coming down for the kids or
Flying my
something?
dad down.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
flying
good.
my dad down for a few days. He's gonna come down for a week,
Oh,
and
that's cool.
yeah, so that'll be great. That's our summer, man.
Are you guys
Just
gonna
like that,
drive?
it's over.
You guys getting to drive to Pensacola, or are you gonna fly?
We're gonna drive.
Yeah. So it wasn't
Yeah,
a terrible
gonna drive.
drive. Just
Yeah, no, it's easy. I mean, for us, it's simple. It's like straight down
yeah.
65, and you're there in 5.5, 6 hours, which isn't bad. In 5.5, 6 hours, when you don't have to listen to fighting in the back seat and that kind of stuff. That kind of stuff. It probably go by a little bit quicker. Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there
Are
yet?
you big $1 million question though?
Yes.
Are you gonna stop at a Buc-ee's?
No, I'm not stopping at Buc-ee's. No,
Oh,
I knew it
you
was
are.
coming.
You are.
Yeah, probably. I mean, I'm gonna need gas, so I might as well stop there. And like I
'Cause it's
said, I'm not
cheaper.
gonna have to yeah, it is cheaper, so I'll stop there. I
Yeah.
might even try one of the barbecue sandwiches. I'm kind of interested in trying one of those.
Oh, you got to
So
get the brisket sandwich is so good.
we'll see. We'll
Yeah.
see. Yeah,
Cool.
very well might happen. Yeah, how
Well,
about you
dude,
guys?
so right now we're just kind of in the thick of the rest of this month of June. And then it'll be July 4th, so we'll be hanging here just for the next couple weeks, and then we're gonna leave and head up to Colorado to see my brother. So we're gonna pull the camper up to Leadville, which is my favorite place on earth. I would live there if Andine could ever say yes to that, but she hates the winter, so she can't commit to that. But it's my
Yeah.
favorite place on earth. You're at 10,000 feet. You're up in the mountains. You're surrounded by 14,000 foot mountains. Air is thin. Nights are 40s in the summer. Days are 70s in July. Gonna be do tons of hiking. Probably gonna bag a couple 14,000 foot mountains while we're there. Me and my brother can go do a couple hikes up to top a couple of those Mount Massive, Mount Elbert, a couple 14,000 foot mountains. I'm going to for sure spend some time at Turquoise Lake where we've been before. It's a great lake, right in the mountains, freezing cold water, all summer long. Good fishing, and then of course the Leadville 100 course runs around Turquoise Lake, so I will be sure to hammer out some miles at 10,000 feet. Run
That's
around
cool.
run around Turquoise Lake. And then but we're going to take a few days because we're going with the camper, so we'll probably get up to northern Arizona, Pine Top Sholo area, somewhere up there, Taylor, Snowflake, that area, the old Route 66, find a place to sleep for a
Nice.
night there, then get into southern Colorado for a night, and then finish off the trek up to 10,000, and then the campground that we're staying at, we've stayed before, so it's about 3 miles from my brother's house. It's a 5-minute drive to my brother's house from there, and there's really not much in Leadville outside of houses and a few restaurants and tons of outdoor activity. So then we
Right.
got a place for a week there. Get to spend a bunch of time with my brother. The girls love their Uncle Robert, and then get out of there and make our trek back home. So we'll probably be back home, sometime around the 17th or 18th of July. Make it a good solid 9, 10, 11 days or something like that, and just kind of play by
That's
ear on the
great.
way home. Make a couple stops on the way home because see someplace we haven't seen before. I don't know. We've been all over the fucking Four Corner states like crazy. So but there's
Yeah.
always something to see. There's a couple national parks we'd love to hit. We'd love to hit Mesa Verde on the way up, and then take a day trip from Leadville to Rocky Mountain National Park. And there's also another one.
Nice.
There's 3 there that in Colorado that we want to see. We want to see Mesa Verde, we want to see Rocky Mountain National Park, and then we want to see Black Canyon of the Gunnison. Those are all within a 2-hour drive from my brother's place. So we may, get 2 or 3 of them knocked out, which would be nice.
That's great.
And Andine's taken, she's already put it on her calendar, so she doesn't have to worry about being on the phone and her laptop and Zooms. And for me, as you
That's
know,
awesome.
the way that I work, my phone rings, I answer it. So that doesn't
Mm-hmm.
change my really change my work schedule at all. And then when we get back from there, dude, like I said, by the time we get back, July 17th, 18th, August 3rd is the first day of school. So we'll probably
Yeah.
throw in
And,
one
and
more
the
trip.
girls are going back to school, right?
That's the plan. We'll see how it goes. As of right now, they are.
Wow. Yeah.
But like
Is
I said,
Finley excited?
no, not at all.
Uh,
No, she is. She still adamantly says she's not going. Which if you guys, Finley, she's the boss of the family. She's in charge. And if she says she's not going, then in her mind she's not going. So we'll see. The good thing is with Caroline still in elementary school, like at least there'll be a year where they're together. You know what I mean? Because
yeah.
next year it's going to be all sorts of fucked up because you'll have Finley in first, Caroline in fifth, Madison out of middle school because she's going to age. So then Madison will be in high school. So if we're still here, she'll be at CDO most likely. So she'll be, we three, and then the following year it'll be high school, sixth grade, second grade. So 3 different schools. Like, are you kidding me? It's gonna be nuts.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's gonna be fucking nuts. So, gonna try to enjoy that they'll all be on the same campus this year because Harrelson and Cross are on the same campus. So, that'll be nice to know that I can do. Even though, as we know, Amplify schools are so fucking stupid, they have the older kids going late and the younger kids going early. So I'm literally gonna have to make 2 separate fucking trips, 1.5 miles from my doorstep to drop off kids and pick kids up. So it's literally 4 trips to the same campus a day. Drop off Madison, come home. Drop off Caroline Finley, come home, and then the same thing at pickup. Like, are you effing kidding me? Like, could they make it any dumber? They really can't.
Amphi nailed it. They nailed it with the dumbest school schedule.
The way that I look is this: listen, liberals are gonna liberal, man. They're just so fucking stupid.
Oh, for sure. They just like to overcomplicate everything.
Any way
do
they
shit
can,
ass backwards.
Any way they can fuck something up, they will do it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, so I mean that's really it. And then we'll probably get up to Luna Lake like we do every year. Sometime in August for a long weekend. Nice. And get up there because we love Luna Lake at 8,000 feet up in the White Mountains. We have a great little campground that we've stayed at a few times. But dude, it's gonna go by real fast, man. It's already
Yep.
Just as we're talking, dude, I feel like it's going by quick. So but anyway, so yeah, that's kind of summer. Anything up until now that you've done so far in the first few weeks that have been anything besides just a couple of those camps? I mean, we really, like I said, Madison did a volleyball camp. We haven't done a whole lot besides kids are swimming every day, and that's about it.
No, I get home from work every day. Kids want to play football, basketball. We're outside doing that, and we've been getting in good routines with a family walk, ruck, bike ride at night, which has been great. And it's really just been that. Bathroom, all my renovations are done, by the way.
Yeah, that's good.
Signed, sealed, delivered. So we're actually just able to really just enjoy family time on the weekends and like hanging out. And it's so great. It's just so great. I'm done coaching youth sports right now. Both seasons have come to a close. So yeah, things are kind of in, like you said, dog days. It's kind of in a lull right now before it picks back up in a week and vacations start.
Yeah, it's amazing how fast time as a whole goes by when you have dog days where you're like, fuck, today won't end. You know what I mean? But then you look at, you look all of a sudden, it's 2 weeks fucking later. So, but, anyways, book recommendation time. Keeping with my athletic endurance theme that I've been going with, with Iron War and a couple other ones. This one is called The Race Within. Passion, Courage, and Sacrifice at the Ultraman Triathlon. Okay, this is a good book if you like triathlons, if you like endurance, if you like hearing about people that are fucking miserable being in the pain cave. This is a great book because the race itself is super long, but the race within is in your head, right? Your body can do so much more than you physically think it can. You know what I mean? You push past your perceived limits. But just to break down what the Ultraman, so it's all about the Ultraman Triathlon. Okay, the Ultraman Triathlon started years ago in Hawaii. It's always done in Hawaii. It was people that did an Ironman that it wasn't enough for them. Okay, they needed something more. And as you know now, the endurance world has 200-mile races, 250-mile races, fucking all sorts of stuff. But this one was one of those first super, super long races, okay? And I'll just give you the rundown of the race. And it'll tell me, and it'll take me 1 second, and you realize I would never do anything like that. Okay, so it starts with day one. It's a 3-day event, and it's a cumulative total time, to see who wins. So if you finish day one with an hour before everybody else, you get to keep that hour banked. You know what I'm saying? So everyone's playing catch up with you. So it's huge to get first. So, and listen, Goggins has done this race. Rich Roll's done this race. Lots of people in the endurance world have done this race, but it is not fun. Day one, okay? I actually personally think day one is the worst day of them all. It is a 6.2 mile open ocean swim. So you do 6.2 miles in the fucking ocean. And then when you get out of the ocean, so that's a 10K swim. Just think about that for a second. How fucking crazy that is. And when you get out of the ocean, same day, you do a 90-mile bike ride after the 6.2 mile swim.
I missed it. Where is this?
It's in Hawaii.
Hawaii. Okay.
It's Hawaii.
Hawaii.
So day one, 6.2 miles swim.
6.2 miles in the freaking ocean.
In the ocean.
Golly.
Followed by a 90-mile bike ride. That's just day
I
one.
never thought a 90-mile bike ride would sound easy, but compared to a 6.2 mile swim, imagine how bad your legs gotta hurt though after that. And then you get on the bike ocean, and you gotta pedal.
How about the fucking all that salt water going through every pore of your body, your ears, your nose, you're swallowing it, dude. Your body. I mean,
you must have to wear a wetsuit. You must wear a wetsuit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So at least it's just in the face.
It's just down your fucking. It's just in your lungs and everything else. So day one,
I would sink.
6.2 mile swim, 90-mile bike ride. Day two seems like a walk in the park. It's just 171.
Get on a bike.
Just 171 mile bike ride. Day two, just go on and bike 171 miles. What the hell? Who cares? I mean, I just did the swim in the 90 miles the day before. What the hell? It's only double the bike ride. And then you finish day three with a double marathon. So it is a 52.4 mile run. That's the third day.
Is it a trail run or is it just a street run?
It's on the road. Which is even worse.
Pounding on your legs.
In Hawaii, in the fucking sun, baking.
How much sleep do you get each night? What's the
It all depends on how much.
Obviously, from whenever you finish, but what's the start time each morning?
I think they start staggered.
It's gotta be early.
But it's early.
Okay.
Yeah. They start staggered, but the race itself is it's fucking crazy. It's crazy.
Sounds insane.
You are you're a complete maniac when it comes to doing shit like this. But like I said, Goggins has done it. Rich Roll's done it. A lot of guys have done it that are pretty popular.
Cam Hanes hasn't done it. He doesn't really like to bike though.
I don't think he likes to swim.
Swim? Is that something he doesn't like to swim?
I've never heard him talk about swimming before. I've heard him talk. Okay. I've heard him talking about mountain biking in the woods to get to the trailhead, where then he would schlep 50 pounds on his back to go find an elk. But you know what I mean? I've heard him mountain biking in the woods, but I've never heard him talk about swimming. So I'm assuming, I'm not saying he doesn't like to swim. He may like to swim, but I don't know. He never talks about it.
Yeah.
And we already know how loose Goggins' wires are, so that doesn't matter.
There's a fantastic video floating around that I sent you. Oh man! Just for those listening, go to Google and just type in David Goggins animated on Mars.
It's the best.
Get the uncensored version. It's amazing.
It's the best. It will be the best 30 seconds of your month if you watch that.
Oh, it's so great.
I ran 52 million miles in negative 175 degrees. Stay hard.
He's got no shirt on. He's just going boom, doing his thing. It's fantastic. Go check that out.
I wish I could just play it right now so everyone could see it, but I don't. I have that technological capabilities to play that, so you hear it nice and clear on the podcast audio.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, it's great. It's great. But anyways, that wraps up episode 66, Dave. Listen, go enjoy your summer. If you live somewhere where you're already a month in or you're just getting out of school, go outside and spend time with your kids outside. This is the prime time to get them away from their screens. The schools shove it down their throats now. Keep them away from screens. Keep them busy. Keep them outside. And I know that's not easy for people because people have to work. But guess what? Even if you put your kids in a camp that's at like a park and rec. At least they'll be outside. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, man, you just nailed it. I one of the things for me that I always think about now is like I don't know how many summers I actually have left where the kids are gonna want to like hang out and do stuff. So really take what you just said, spend time with your kids, enjoy every second of it that you can, because summer goes by really fast. The years go by fast, and pretty soon you'll be looking back saying, where did all that time go? So make that the priority. Enjoy your summer. It's the start of summer. Maybe it's the start of summer for you. Maybe it's the midsummer. Whatever it is, get out there, continue living the full force life. We'll see you next week.